Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's episode of Game Poke, and today it's a special one because we are going to be talking about the Game Boy Pocket. I didn't have one of these as a kid, kind of skipped it for me, went from original Game Boy all the way to Game Boy Color, but I still think this is a very interesting little thing worth talking about. So we're going to have a look at this today, and then we're also going to look at 5 random-ass Game Boy games. The games are going to be, well, I like pointing fingers at games that are more obscure. I want to see if I can find a game that no one's ever heard of. I think that's more interesting. Hopefully only die-hard Game Boy fans would know all of these games we're going to go over.
But first, we shall look at this system.
The original Game Boy was released in 1989, whereas the Game Boy Pocket wasn't released until 1996. That's quite a gap. The main differences you see just from looking at the two devices: the start and select button are slanted on the original Game Boy, whereas on the Pocket they're straight. The speakers are slanted on the original Game Boy, whereas on the Pocket they're dots. And the screen on the Game Boy Pocket is actually larger than that on the original. In fact, it's even larger than on the Game Boy Color, I believe. In my opinion, the Game Boy Pocket is not as comfortable as the original Game Boy, but not by much. It's not anything worth complaining about. The original Game Boy also had these lines on the back, which I thought were very cool, and of course they're gone on the Pocket. Bit of a shame, but that's just a nitpicky thing, it doesn't really matter. The original Game Boy took 4 AA batteries, which made it last for 15 hours of gameplay, and the Pocket took only 2 AAA batteries, which made it last for 10 hours of gameplay. The screen on the Game Boy original is this puke green pissy colour, and on the Pocket it is just simple black and white. And it is so much clearer on the Game Boy Pocket. A couple of years later, Japan would re-release the Game Boy Pocket with a backlight and call it the Game Boy Light. Unfortunately, this was never released outside of Japan. Bastards.
So yes, that is the Game Boy Pocket, and one more thing I want to go over. It's not actually about the Game Boy Pocket, but it is 100% Game Boy. I have very recently made a brand new Game Boy. When I say made brand new, I didn't. In the past, with my last custom made Game Boy, this one is one I put together 100%. This one has got the latest feature for Game Boy, which is called... Now, I didn't know how to do that, I didn't want to fuck it up, and I found a friend who was willing to do it for me. He did that, and I've literally just put the main bits together in the shell. This is so much cooler than my other Game Boy I've made. The screen is so much fucking better. Just have a look. Yeah, I just thought you'd find it cool to see this new Game Boy. I am very proud of it. It's worked out very well. All of the buttons function properly. I've done it so many times where I've put a Game Boy together and you're like, why did the B button not work? Oh, I forgot to put this in. Cunt. Happens all the fucking time with me. Anyway, onto the Game Boy Pocket. More specifically, onto the random games. And the first game today is Jelly Boy on Game Boy. Now, I've had this one for a while. I found out like a year ago that there's also a Super Nintendo version, which for some reason only came out in PAL territories. There's obviously a reason for it. I guess that the company that made Jelly Boy Ocean is a European company. I don't know. I won't lie. I haven't researched it. It doesn't matter. We're just going to see if the game is any good. It helps if it works. Yes, this isn't the way you're meant to clean it, but fuck it. I'm recording right now. I had this game as a kid and I could never get anywhere really. I couldn't get past the first world. Yet I would always keep trying. It was so much fun. You start off in this strange area, which you can see as some sort of toy world, and the first thing you tend to do when you play it for the first time is you go to the area you're already on. That's not a level, that shows you a bunch of doors where you can select other worlds to go to, when you have keys and bullshit. And then there's this freak over here who talks a lot of old bollocks, so I guess him and me are from the same club. Back in the world, you'll find what you're supposed to do is go into the main levels and you're meant to collect it's like jigsaw pieces. If you don't get that, you basically want to redo the whole damn level, which is a pain in the ass. Your health is determined by these stupid little music note-like things, but your main enemy is the time. You'll die just from the sodding time limit. How do you up the time? By collecting fruit, obviously. It's science. Not to mention, seeing as you're literally made of jelly, you can change shape. You can punch shit with a fist from your stomach, reasons, and you can also, when you get certain power-ups, you can turn into like a skateboard, or what's another one? Hammer, umbrella. There's tons of things you can turn into, and you also have little allies throughout the game, like one little guy named Blocky. He's a block. Need I say more? There's also a dog, I forget his name, it's like Yappy or some shit. And there we have a jigsaw piece. That's what you need to get when you get one from each level you've done a world. Now, I never did it as a kid, I guess I was just terrible. In fact, I'm pretty terrible now, so not a lot's changed. All in all, if you're into Game Boy and this is one you want to try, I do recommend it, but bear in mind the difficulty is a little steep in places. You will get fucked off. But there is a password system, so you can just pick it up and try again later. If the game looks interesting to you and you want to try it in a better format, check out the Super Nintendo version, which I have, in fact, got. Maybe I'll do that as a Let's Play one day. I have thought about showing Jelly Boy because I don't know anyone else that knows about it, especially Super Nintendo fans. I've always found that confusing. So yeah, good game, relatively good graphics, bit challenging. There you are. Let's try the next game. Next one is very different. I didn't have this as a kid, but I did have it on a 101-in-1 cart. It's a Boxel. Just a dumb fucking name. I think there's a game like this on the Sega Genesis / Sega Mega Drive. It's under a different name, and I don't know what it's called, sorry, but I'm sure there is something. On here, Boxel, you're this little dude who likes this girl. Because heart, and please take my gift, and pervert. Aim in the game is very simple. You gotta push the boxes over the dots. Yeah, I know, it doesn't sound very riveting, but the only easy level is literally the first level, and then you're gonna have to start fucking thinking a bit. But on the plus side, if you fuck it, you can pause and click retry at any point, and it doesn't cost you anything in like experience or lives or whatever. You can just keep doing that eternally, I think. At least it bloody well better be. Well, wouldn't it suck if you do have limited retries? It shouldn't do, because I've been stuck on one level before where I've used like 100 fucking retries and I've had no penalty for such. Graphically, it's nowhere near as appealing as Jelly Boy, but sound-wise, while the music is fucking annoying after a while, you do get this strange soundbite. It's weird, isn't it? Also, when you get far enough, you get to a point where everything's shrunk. You become smaller, the boxes become smaller, so you get bigger puzzle. And the first one of them is a sod. If you want to play the game and you get that level and you get stuck, the hint is to put a box up in that top right corner there. If you do that, you will figure out what to do after, I promise you. It took me ages to realise even that's because I'm a spaz. Yeah, very good game, but very simple game. I do highly recommend it. I recommend all of the games we're playing today. I'm not showing any crap ones. I don't see the point. Next game is Super RC Pro Am, and an interesting thing about this game is that I found this one when recording another video. It was my holiday video that I did ages ago, a couple of years or some shit. I enjoyed making that video. It was very vloggy. The only thing I don't like about it is the thumbnail that I've never been fucked to change, because I'm stupid. Only reason I mention that video is in the video I say how this is one of them games I had as a kid and I have no fucking clue what happened to the cartridge. And all I remembered about it growing up was not the damn name, was the fact it had a red racing car on the cover. That was all I remembered. And luckily for me, On finding this at CEX and just thinking, sod it, maybe that's the game, it is in fact the game. I had this as a kid and I loved it. I got so damn far. Really wish I knew what happened to my copy, but I suppose it doesn't matter now. The graphics on this are great for what they have to be, a racing game. The sound, well, it's got really good music at some points, but where there is no music, it's just this fucking farting engine sound that you get sick of pretty quick. One of the great things about this game is you can actually upgrade your car, but you don't do it by purchasing shit with points or money or any of that. There's parts to cars, there's one on each racetrack. You find one on the racetrack, it's just lying there, pick it up, complete the race, you'll have that part. But if you miss it, then you're screwed. The game was very interesting, made by Rare. Back when Rare was good, but it wasn't bought out by Microsoft and made shit. There's also a game like this on the Sega Master System under a different name, I think. Funnily enough, the Game Boy one plays better, but that's only because the Master System has a horrific D-pad, and you need a good D-pad for this game. So maybe the Master System one would actually be better if you just play it with a Mega Drive controller. I don't think I've given it that chance, I really should. It plays like every other racing game in the world, really. There's stupid little booster arrows you can go on and make you go faster. You got the power-ups, you got all that other shit. But it's just good, solid fun. There's very little bullshit factor where you just get overtaken instantly. Like, say on Road Rash or something, you get knocked off your bike, you're fucked, that's it. You're not going to get back to first place, and then later levels, you might as well just give up. That's not really a thing. I highly recommend this game. Highly recommend it. Out of the ones we've looked at so far, I would probably put this at the top for games you should try. Next game, Penguin Wars. Now, the weird thing about Penguin Wars is that there is now a version on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if it's any good. I thought about buying it, but it's probably exactly what I have here, with no difference. So I don't know if I really should spend out the money on it. Switch games aren't cheap. If it was like a £5 digital game on the Switch, bugger it, I'd get it, but I think it's physical for like 15 quid. I don't know if it's worth it when I've got this. But anyway, Penguin Wars. You start off with being able to choose your animal. I'm just going to choose the penguin because fuck it, Penguin Wars. You go up against other animals because Street Fighter like, is it fuck? The aim of the game, very simple. Get these balls, throw them over the other side. Sound easy? Really isn't, because your enemy is throwing balls at you as well. Whoever has the most balls over at the enemy's side at the end of the time limit wins. Problem is, if you get hit by a ball, then you're fucked and you're just lying there waiting to get the hell up. So the idea is to knock out your enemy, and if you can do that before he can get up and throw any balls, you've won instantly. So you haven't got to wait for the timer to run out. The game is very simple, but it's not the easiest in the world. There's a little bit of a bullshit factor, I find. Sometimes you'll have a ball hit you, you're laying down, waiting to fucking get up. Pressing buttons, which I honestly don't think do anything, but, you know, back in the day, you'd be like, no, get up quickly, and you press every button like it made a difference, and it fucking didn't. Ah, shit, bullshit, 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 get the fuck up. Bullshit! It's funny, with that little bit of bullshit factor, it's only a little, actually makes it more interesting. You're more determined to do the game. You're like, nah, I'm not going to fucking lose, I'm going to kill that cunting rabbit! Which I have, because I'm awesome. And every so often you get a bonus game, which starts off with you being knocked out straight away, so that's fucking fair. Literally just have to throw as many balls as you can. Yes, I know this game sounds incredibly fucking simple, and I should point out that this penguin character, he's from a long line of Famicom games. In Japan, he is actually a mascot of sorts. No, I don't know the fucking name. If you want more information on that, I think the most interesting video I've ever seen on it was one by the very now unpopular Jew Wario. What was the name of that? Oh, he did all these Penguin Famicom games. And I've got a few of them Penguin Famicom games, and they're pretty awesome. This is some of that shit, really. It's that fucking penguin. Don't know his name because I don't think it's in English. It's a Japanese name, and I don't even remember English names. I'm not a clever person. I'm rambling now a bit, aren't I? That's because I can't stop playing this fucking game. It's incredibly addictive. Penguin Wars. If you ain't got it, you need to get it. On something. You don't have to get the Game Boy version if you want. Look out for the Switch one. It's probably cheaper on Game Boy, but it'd be a hell of a lot nicer to look at on the Switch. I really should turn this game off and get back to making video. maybe in a minute. Okay, right, I'm fine. I'm turning it off. Final game is one I had as a child. I love this game, although it's very learning from error-y. You will fuck up and die a lot in Montezuma's Revenge. This game is the tits, but you're gonna die a lot. For them new modern gamers out there, they're like, oh, I died, this game is shit, and then don't play it again. Don't get this, because you will die a lot, you'll get pissed off. Back in the day, we play games where we died a fuck of a lot. You will die a fuck of a lot in this game. All about going into a room going, ha! Dead as fuck! Learn not to go there. Or go into a room, ha! This rope leads to fire! Not going there again. You learn. You learn the route, you learn what to do. This isn't working. Yes, I'll clean them properly later. The game has a very, very catchy theme tune that you'll hear throughout the fucking game, really. So you are an Indiana Jones rip-off, trying to get treasure from Pyramid, avoiding skulls and spiders and all sorts. And it's a bit of a bitch to do. The main thing is to get keys to unlock doors, and then you find treasure. The only way to kill monsters is with knives that you find. You find a knife, that knife counts as one kill to one monster, and then the knife is useless because science. I'd like to point out that this is on tons of other things, tons of other consoles and computers and shit. I've recently, very recently, managed to get hold of another port of this that I've wanted forever and haven't been able to get my hands on. The Master System version. I've wanted it for so long, and I finally fucking got a copy. Can't wait to give it a chance. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Not my fault. Life getting in the fucking way. This is definitely one of the more graphically impressive games that I'm showing you today, but it's definitely the most bullshit. This is for skilled gamers and people with a bit of patience. You'll love it, but if you are one of them people that's like, oh, I died, meh, then you're gonna fucking hate it. So I guess this separates the gamers from the whingers. Probably the best way to put it, actually. See what kind of gamer you are. Are you up for fucking Montezuma's Revenge? You haven't got to complete it. You just got to persevere, as it were. There's many ways you can die. There's height damage for one. I fucking love that shit. So graphically, it's awesome. Musically, it's pretty damn good. Challenge-wise, fucking steep. Maybe it's the fact that I have a lot of nostalgia for the game that makes me enjoy it so much, even though I suck. Maybe I should get some friends to try this one out. I like getting mates around and saying, here, have a go at this game. It's great fun. And then watch them struggle like fuck. Kind of like how James Rolfe does with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Play this game, you'll love it. And then you watch them suffer. Yeah, maybe we should get Ian to play fucking Montezuma's Revenge. Anyway, there we have 5 games and the Game Boy Pocket. It is a fantastic Game Boy, and I still find it strange that the screen is so good. But also the fact that it came out years after the original Game Boy. I mean, you had original Game Boy, and not long after you had their main competition, which was Game Gear. You'd have thought they'd have tackled the colour problem. Maybe the backlight. I mean, you got the Game Boy Light, which never came out over here. Fuck Japan for that one. I will always say that. I'm so jealous they got the Game Boy Light and we didn't. But yeah, they didn't tackle the backlight. They didn't tackle the colour. They tackled the size. That was it. I thought, you know, what do people want? Smaller Game Boys, we'll make them. I suppose it was handy, it was pretty cool, but back then, because we had CD Walkmans, we shoved them into our pockets. We made sure we had jackets with big pockets back then, so this wasn't as much of an issue as you'd think. But the screen improvement is vastly superior to original Game Boy. This pea green piss shit is rotten. This is awesome. Proof that this is rotten is why I upgrade. I love my original Game Boy, I have high nostalgia for it, hence why I've kept it, but I rarely play games on it because they look like snot. This is the way to play, and this is the way to be portable. I hope you've enjoyed this video today about the Game Boy Pocket and 5 random games, and yes, showing that off because I'm proud of it and I think it's cool. Yes, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Like, your comment, your subscribe, and all that other bollocks. Maybe we'll look at the Game Boy Color sometime if you enjoyed this one enough. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.